Rugby is a game of passion, speed and power. Playing rugby is a great experience and a great talking point with people, and yet when asked what you do, when you answer, all you get is a glazed look of confusion. Unlike football, in which somebody naturally understands the meaning of attacker, midfielder and defender, if you say to someone you play prop or lock or outside centre, all you're doing is telling them a random selection of letters. So what I plan to do is help explain each and every position you can play across the pitch in rugby union, from the battlefield of the front row all the way to the speed machines of the wing. You will learn what it takes to play each and every position, for things like training in diets to injury prevention and tricks of the trade.
And this sorts the men from the boys. Pause, engage! And where they go again,
massive scrum and picked up now by Morgan. He rolls, tries to get it down, but it is a penalty try, says Nigel Owens. England have their try, the forwards have their reward.
Well, that's what they were going for. They didn't want a three-pointer or even an attempt at. They wanted...
A rugby team comprises of 15 players, 8 forwards and 7 backs. The number 8 wears the number 8 shirt and is part of the forwards. He is placed in what is known as the back row, right at the back of the scrum, even behind the 2 flankers. He is the only player on the pitch to not have an actual name of his position, only being known by the number 8.
A scrum time, I think back in the days there was a perception that the back row is not part of the scrum or can't help, and I think that certainly changed, especially coming to the northern hemisphere this side. I think it just emphasizes the importance of the back 5, and I mean even if you play 8, you just the initial hit, just adding your weight helps the front 3. So just doing your job from that point of view. I mean obviously when the ball's gone, you've got other jobs and other roles, but I think initially you have to help out and add your weight in the scrum.
Well, lineouts vary. You can be anywhere of the number of the main jumpers in the lineout. And then scrum, really, you're the link man between the backs and the forwards. You've got to work really hard with your 9 and get everything running smoothly at the base of the scrum, because obviously there's a lot of plays coming off the base of the scrum, a lot of set pieces, so that's really important.
I think it varies. I mean, I'm not quite a jumping line-out or a jumping threat, so I'm more of a lifter or more a role like a drifter, so I'll be a supporter, so I'll need to see where the guys go up and either lift the middle guy or the back guy, or I need to be in the back line and I'll be a tail gunner and more defensively. So from that point of view in the line-out, I'll be more defensive type of player. Yeah. I think back rows is similar roles. I mean, if some games, if you look at our position, you'll play more at the back and be wary for kicking threats and help the back 3. Whereas other games you'll be more direct and more on the ground and hopefully help out your 7 flanker. So I think from an 8 point of view, you have to be versatile and be able to help out where you can and be a very versatility have to come to the fore, helping out your back rows. I think the most important thing from back rows is probably just combinations, getting the right combinations, guys together. I mean, everything changed so much in rugby that just 6, 7 and 8 play a similar type of game, and it's just about helping each other out.
Open play, if you're attacking, obviously you're considered to be one of the main ball carriers in the squad, so it's just trying to get around the corner or get yourself into the best position to be able to carry. And then defensively, you're looking to make some big hits, big tackles, turnovers, and really make an impact on the game.
I think it's having a good balance. I mean, obviously, we don't really play front row and everything like that, but technique plays probably 50% and brute strength 50%. So just having a good balance. Sometimes you just need to use brute strength, and other times you need to be a bit more wise and a bit more using your brain and your skill. But just assessing that, using the options you have to your ability, and just making a choice on the field and doing to the best of your ability and judgment there.
I think it's practice. You've got to do your generic stuff throughout the week with your weights and your technique stuff with the units sessions that we do. But then it's also having your skill sessions to keep your handling smooth. You practice in the backfield, so you're catching balls and just getting your hands on the ball a lot.
Attributes, I think it's just not really height and how you look. I think it's more about what you've got inside. So if you want to play rugby, if you've got a heart, that's the only attribute you need. I think guys normally tell me, listen, you have to be tall, you need to be fast, you need to be skillful. I disagree with that. I think rugby is a sport for anyone. I mean, you need to be hard. If you want to play back row, you obviously need to be a bit more brute strength and probably a bit more hard, but small, tall, thin, big. If you've got this, you can work around the other stuff. Yeah.
I think you need to have good hands. You need to be explosive and powerful. I'm trying to get there. But no, I'd say those are the main things really. And you've also got to be able to be a good communicator, because it's an important link role, so you've got to be able to give information.
Yeah, I think it's quite important. I think your links between 8, 9 and 10 is probably your most important links, because that combine the back with the forwards. And I think just that communication, letting everyone know what we're going, and just trying to get in sync with what we're trying to do as a team. So yeah, I think from a communication point of view it's quite important, but just knowing what the backs want and relaying to the forwards as well, and being a link from that point of view.
Not too much, I scream. Yeah, no, I mean, you feed in little bits of information. If you've got a good gum shield, it doesn't stop you too much. Well, the scrum's a difficult thing really, because it's a moving object. So ideally you want the ball at your feet as quickly as possible, so it's a quick strike between the 9, the hooker, straight to your feet at 8. But obviously sometimes that doesn't happen, so you've got to be in a position where you're going to be able to fire your second rows in and be able to push to win that ball back. You've got to read whether we've got a dominant scrum, and if we have, then it's your duty to be able to keep the ball in and try and get your penalty or get better field position. But then if you can feel that the scrum's under pressure, it's being able to get the ball away, have it controlled at your feet so the 9 can play it, or you take that option of picking yourself.
It doesn't really differ. I mean, apart from doing our normal gym stuff and normal on the field stuff, we'll try and do some individual stuff after training, concentrate on the stuff we do well, is ball carrying, tackling, ball on the ground, trying to win balls on the ground. The guys that need to jump in the line out, you're more jumping age, will do a bit more line out stuff and a bit more agility stuff. But yeah, apart from that, we do exactly the same. I think it's just working on your individual stuff and identifying where you can improve as a rugby player. But I think most of the stuff is the same. Back rows, trying to work on your ball carrying abilities and your tackle ability.
Your general season structure is you get all your heavy lifting and conditioning in early doors. And that gives you foundation for the rest of the season. And then during the season, you're doing weights and conditioning top-ups really. You're never actually, well, in my opinion, you're never looking to gain strength during the season, it's just maintain. And really that's it. I'd say, yeah, you're just trying to maintain your strength for the season. Obviously the impacts of the game, you're trying to recover because it's only a week turnaround between games, so it's important that you can be able to recover and get going again.
I mean, you try and stay as clean as possible. I mean, it's not always possible trying to do that. I mean, with the way we train, sometimes you get away with not eating as healthy. But I mean, you as a professional rugby player, you try and eat as healthy as possible. That's more lean stuff. But I think in eating regularly, 5 meals a day, 3 big meals and then your 2 smaller meals in between snack times. But I mean, it's not always possible. But you try and stay as clean as possible. Stay away from chocolates and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's all about moderation, really. After a game, you can have a beer and that sort of thing. You can have your cheat meal, but it's about eating clean in the week and looking after yourself. I mean, there's nobody that can just stay on a strict. I'm not going to have any of this, because it's impossible to do that. So I think it's all about moderation.
I've got no idea how many calories I eat, but yeah, I mean, set diet in the morning. Normally we come in and get an omelette, bowl of porridge. We've got a midday snack. Normally after your first training session in the morning, you'll have a bit of a snack, some cold meats and stuff. Then you'll have a good lunch with fish or whatever and your green veggies. Another recovery shake after that, and a big meal in the evening. I mean, we train quite a lot, so you need to have a lot of protein, especially inside intake. But it's about balancing that and hopefully trying to get the right balance inside here.
I wouldn't be able to tell you how many calories, but I mean, we'll have breakfast, which is, I'm trying to have carbohydrates every meal. Obviously you need that energy to sustain yourself throughout the day and the week. So it's a breakfast, we'll train, perhaps do a bit of weights, then we'll have like a little snack, which will be a light snack of a wrap or something like that. Then we do the rest of the training, they feed us here, so we'll have a meal here. And then go home, I'll have an evening meal at home and perhaps a snack after that, either a protein shake or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a good medical staff here at London Wasps. I mean, we don't have a lot of soft tissue injuries. I mean, we only had 1 or 2 long-term injuries. So, I mean, normally we're trying to do pre-ab, that is trying to prevent injuries, trying to work on your joint mobility stuff, doing a lot of stretching and stuff like that, just to prevent injuries like that, hammy injuries, calf injuries and soft tissue injuries. I mean, obviously the stuff you can't avoid, your knees and stuff like that, but just to try and avoid what you can to the best of your ability and what is in your power to do. Yeah.
There is proprioception training, which is obviously training small movements and strengthen individual areas, so that does help, but there's no set thing that's going to stop you getting injured, because it's just one of those things that you can't prevent. It happens sometimes, unfortunately, and that's the downside of our game. No, I don't think so. I think you're trying to recover. Like I told you, recovery is really important. Obviously, there's a lot of physical bumps in during the week, and then that amounts to the game as well. And you have, obviously, it's like being in a car crash sometimes. So I think, like I said, it's just luck whether you don't get injured, really. Like some of the times you have bumps, but they're recoverable by looking after yourself in the week, getting your ice baths in on the hands and that sort of stuff. But no, I think injury is just one of those things that's unfortunate, and you see some things that happen and it doesn't look like anything and it ends up being a serious injury. Warm-up's really important. That's when you're most likely to, if you're coming into a session, you're trying to go full on straight away and start running, whatever, then you're most likely to pull a muscle because you're cold. You warm down, or what we say is our recovery, which is our ice baths and that sort of thing. It's important. We wear skins, get the compression garments on, just to be able to aid our recovery quicker and get us in the best shape for the weekend.
I mean, I'm not really one of those guys that trying to get myself psyched up and everything like that. I try to be nice and calm, nice and focused, know what I want to do on the field. But at the same time, I mean, when I put the jersey on, I mean, I do get sometimes very emotional because I know why I do it and why I want to do it. So I mean, the emotion is there, and that's what I play on normally.
No, I think all your preparation really is done during the week. That's where we're looking at video, watching what our opposition do. We review the game that we've played the week before to see where we can improve. So you do all of your preparation in that week, and then it's just about your emotions. And we generally start low emotionally and then build right up to it, and then you're pretty much ready to go by game day.
No. I think when you whether you play for club or international, you should have pride in what you do. So I mean, people always, if you're international, they'll look up and they'll lift your game. So sometimes I find it difficult to play club level than international level because people lift their game against you, and the same counts for you. You'll lift your game when you play international. So you have to be focused. You have to mentally switch on all the time, because you never know who's going to watch, and you're only as good as your last game. So you always need to improve on what you did the previous game and try to put your best foot forward. I mean, it's not mine to assess. I mean, it's just for everyone else to adapt. And I mean, I think we did a good job at the moment adapting. I mean, it would be nice if they can just have one set of Scrum rules for about 10 years and everyone can just adapt to that and everything. But obviously, they want to make the game a safer game, and that's the important thing. So I think from that point of view, they obviously got it right. So I think it's much more safe and everything, less resets. But it's always going to competition, and guys are always going to find loopholes to try and negate the laws.
Look, scrums are difficult anyway. You look through the years, there's always been complaints about the scrum, so I think it's a difficult thing. But I think it's something that we need to set the stall out and keep it the same so people can adjust to it and get used to it. I think this chopping and changing makes it really difficult, and particularly at Gloucester we've found it difficult to adjust to the new interpretations, or it's taken us a lot longer. So yeah, it's a main focal point of the game is set piece, and to have something that's changing all the time makes it really difficult.
I think when you in the back row 6 and 7, it's much more, you feel much more attached to the scrum. But obviously 8, you need to channel your ball, you need to link with your 9. If he wants the ball off the base, you need to try and get that. But I think it's just telling your hookers and your tight 5 where to go and everything like that, and assessing it. I mean, sometimes with the new rules, if you've got a strong scrum, making the assessment, keeping the ball inside and winning the penalty, or sometimes realising we are struggling a bit, we didn't get a good hit, try and get the ball away. So there is a small bit of decision making there. In that kind of role, it's just making a good decision, and I mean that's why you play in that position. Yeah.
I don't think it's detached. Obviously, like I spoke before, there's a lot of involvement around the link play between the backs and forwards. So I think your ultimate, your idea going into the scrum is you've got to push and you've got to get the pack in that front foot position when they're driving. But then as soon as the ball's played in, your focus is around that ball as well as pushing. So you've got to be able to control the ball but be able to keep the weight on the scrum.
I think at the moment there's no, Kieran Reid is top notch. I think he's at the moment the best number 8 doing what he does. I think he's got all the versatility, he's got a good line-up option. It really offers you a lot in terms of what he can do, and just his decision making and ball playing abilities is like an extra back as well, and from the leadership ability as well. I think all-round ability is probably the best 8 in the world. I think close on his heel will probably be Parishi as well. I think from a flair point of view and the way I like to play, skillful is probably the most skillful 8 I've seen, and really got a lot of respect for what he's trying to do, especially from not a small country, but not a small rugby country as Italy. What he's achieved and how he plays, totally got loads of respect for him.
Kieran Reid is the best number 8 at the moment. He's just everywhere. He is that link player between backs and forwards. He's hard running, he's got good hands, he can control ball, and I think, yeah, he just does everything really well. I don't think you could, well, I don't particularly point one skill of his as being absolutely unbelievable. It's just everything is very good, which makes him a very good player.
There you go then, the number 8, the last man, the link between the forwards and the backs. Keep looking out for other episodes of Scrummage to learn how to play all the positions of rugby union.